All right, we're back for class 6, a self-evaluation. So today you are going to complete the self-evaluation using the rubric and write your 2-sentence summary. So make sure you get out your sketchbook or notebook, whatever you're using to organize for art. Teachers, you can pause if you need to till they get to this step. All right, so you're going to write down transformation piece rubric. Now remember, you're only going to write down the things that are in bold. The things that are not in bold are little things I just wrote to help you understand what it means. So the first thing you're going to be graded on is going to be the degree the cartoon looks like the real person. So for this one, we know it's not actually going to look like the person. It's a cartoon character, but we want to be able to recognize them. So if you can recognize them, awesome. If you can kind of recognize them, maybe it's like a 20. If it's pretty recognizable, maybe a 30. If it's really recognizable, I would give yourself a 40 out of 40. Now remember today, you're grading yourself based on where your piece is right now. If you don't have a lot done, that's okay. Your grade might be pretty terrible today, and that's all right, because we're just looking to see what you need to do to improve the quality of your work. Because if we did this when the day it was due, you'd have no time to make adjustments, to make changes, and see exactly how you're going to be graded. So just be honest. This is just to help. Remember, your piece is not due today. All right, number 2. Degree of interesting mark making and style. So the mark making is just the lines you draw in your piece. So they should resemble the style of cartoon that you chose. So when we were talking about Robert De Jesus, we're looking for his marks, like he did these kind of marks. This rough, more squared off things. That's what I'm talking about the mark making. Now, if you choose a different style like Simpsons or whatever you're doing, then it should just look like that. It doesn't have to be forced, but it should be interesting based on the style you chose. And that's out of 20, so give yourself a grade out of 20. Number 3, contrast is achieved with the emphasis on the eyes. So again, if we look at these right here, so even though this piece is not done, you see how I have contrast on these and not really contrast on my husband's eyes, right? Contrast is when there's a lot of difference between an area. So right here, there's this white space with these nice dark eyes. That is showing contrast. Your eyes, if you were only looking at a picture of this person right here, your eyes would be drawn to the eyes on this person right away because of the contrast. So if your whole piece kind of looked like this, similar, then I would say you don't have contrast yet. But if you've started darkening areas in your eye, you may have contrast, and that's good. That's what we're looking for in the end, so our eyes are drawn to the eyes of the person. And that's out of 20 points. The fourth one is degree of interest in composition. So again, we want to think about how your piece is arranged. Think about the rule of thirds. I put the video here if you need to see that again about how that works. So remember, your composition is just how things are arranged. So again, I didn't just put, one character smack dab in the center, and if you did, that's okay. Maybe just move them over to the left a little bit, over to the right a little bit. And notice here with my husband, my daughter, and I made sure that our head levels were at different ranges. They weren't all just straight across. That is a boring composition, but if you have different levels, it's more interesting composition. Oh, sorry, too far. Perfect. And then the last one is that your piece is uploaded with the image of the real person. You didn't do that yet, so you should give yourself a 0 right there. And that's perfectly fine because it's not done yet. It's not supposed to be. All right, so tally it up and give yourself a grade out of 100. And then you're going to write your self-evaluation summary. So you're going to write these 2 sentences and fill in the blank. Right now, I feel my piece is blank %. So you're going to take this number, drop it right in there, and then write why. So let's say I gave myself a 0 here, and let's say I gave myself a 0 here because I don't have contrast on the eyes yet. So my grade was a 70 because I took 30 points off. So right now I could say my piece is a 70% because I don't have emphasis on the eyes and my piece is not uploaded with the image of the real person. Notice I took evidence right from the rubric to justify my evaluation of my piece. The second sentence, I can improve the quality of my piece by. Don't say by finishing because that's not even on here, right? think about something where you took off points and what you're going to do to make it better. And don't just say, I can improve the quality of my piece by adding contrast to the eyes. That is true, but how were you going to do that? So I would say, I can improve the quality of my piece by darkening the lines around the eyes and lightening things around them to add contrast. So that's actually specifically telling your teacher that you have a plan of what you're going to do. All right. So once you get done with those, teachers, hopefully you'll just kind of check in with your students, ask them, who's in what ranges, what they need help with. Students, remember when you're done writing this, just slide this off to the edge of your desk and then continue working on your piece. And your teacher can come around and check these as you're working, so you don't have to wait, and you can get started. All right, see you next time.